Some people walk into a room and nothing changes. Others walk in and the air does. The difference has nothing to do with looks, status, or how loud they speak. You've seen them. The person at work who doesn't say much, but when they do, everyone listens. The friend who never tries to impress anyone and somehow impresses everyone. The stranger who sits quietly in a group and still feels like the center of it. And then there's the version of this that happens to you. Sometimes you walk into a space and you feel invisible, not because you're boring, not because you're weak, but because something somewhere told you that presence has to be performed. It doesn't. Presence isn't about what you project outward. It's about what you've resolved inward. Psychologists call part of this self-concept clarity, how clearly and consistently you understand who you are. But there's something even deeper underneath it. Powerful presence is what happens when a person stops needing the room to confirm them. That's it. That's the whole thing. Think about a conversation where you are carefully choosing your words to seem interesting, the mental energy you spent monitoring how you were landing. Now think about someone who just spoke directly without performing. The brain reads that as safety, as strength. When someone doesn't need your approval, you instinctively want to give it to them. Most people fill silence because silence feels like judgment, so they talk more, laugh louder, explain themselves twice. But a person with real presence lets silence exist. They're not uncomfortable in it, which means you're not either. Comfort with stillness signals internal authority, and people feel that without knowing why. Someone challenges them in a meeting. A comment lands wrong, tension rises, and they pause, not because they're slow, because they're settled. That pause signals regulated emotion, which reads to others as control. Most people mistake this for coldness. It's actually the opposite. It's someone who knows themselves well enough not to be destabilized by the moment. You've probably done this. Made yourself smaller in a group, qualified your opinion before you gave it, apologized for taking up space, not in words, but in posture, in voice, in how quickly you backed down. People with powerful presence stopped doing that, not because they became arrogant, but because they stopped confusing shrinking with kindness. Here's what matters. If you've ever felt like you disappear in rooms, that's not a personality flaw. That's what happens when someone has been taught over and over that their full self is too much, too intense, too quiet, too direct, too much. So you learned to edit yourself before anyone else could. That editing became habit, and habit became identity, but it was never who you actually were. Presence isn't something you build from the outside in, it's something you stop dismantling from the inside out. The work isn't learning how to seem more powerful, it's unlearning to reflex to make yourself less. When you stop seeking permission to exist in a room, you become the kind of person others unconsciously look to for permission to relax. That's the quiet irony of it all. The most magnetic people aren't the ones who tried hardest to be seen. They're the ones who finally stopped being afraid of it. If something in this felt familiar, stay close. There's more where that came from.